Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What Drives You. And we're kind of doing a little reunion with Jayne and Jordan, but Tate is new to the show. So, Tate, welcome.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
So, we got a couple firsts here. We have done one other episode with four guests, but we've never done a New York, Chicago, LA, like cross all time zones podcast. So, good job, everybody.
This is historic,
It
a big
is.
Very
moment, a big
historic.
moment.
So looking back, we did an episode, I don't even know what month that was, but episode 72. So it was 30 some episode, 28. Is that right, Jayne?
Yeah.
28? Yeah,
Yeah.
28 episodes ago.
Mhm.
With Jordan and Jayne. And Tate, I forget where you were. Maybe you were moving.
I think I was moving.
She wasn't
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I
Wasn't
think it
here for
was
sure.
when I moved to New York, I had COVID and I was maid of honor in a wedding the day before. So it was a little bit tricky to tie me down.
And she had about 2 weeks notice before
2 weeks notice. And moved in with strangers. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, you look no worse for the wear. You look very nice today. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining. And I know you're probably in a blizzard or about to be in a blizzard because Maddie was giving us an update from Brooklyn.
Yep.
So how's cleaning? How close are you to Maddie? Are you downtown?
We are like 10 minutes from each other. But we don't cross paths as often as we probably should. So that's on me.
No, you're busy and you're new, and Maddie's got her little routine. So don't
Mhm.
mess with that, by the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare.
Yeah. But no, we're so happy to have you guys on the episode. We had a fun episode last time, but tell us about kind of backing up everyone. So Jayne and Jordan and Tate all met in San Diego at Point Loma University, and then they did a threes company slash four company apartment together. So just great, amazing people that I wish anyone whose kids go away to school, if they could find friends like this, you are very blessed. So thank you guys.
Oh,
I'm blushing, Carl.
that's nice. Yeah, you might not know us that well then if you're
I
giving
would
this up as your
agree.
recommendation.
I would say it's a miracle I survived.
Yeah,
At
I
least,
would say
hey,
we made her tougher, more resilient.
Totally. I completely
at least the parents' version, it's just the impression
Yeah.
or perception that I had. So you did a good job. So either you're really good actors or
They
I
are.
taught her how to lie.
It's true. It's true. They are. They are method actors.
good job. No, so tell us about, because I am actually very proud and impressed. So you went from LA-ish to just uproot the whole thing to one of the largest talent agencies in the world. So tell us, I don't know how much you could talk about details, but one, tell us how you got the gig, and two, how's it going?
Okay, so it's kind of a long story, a long journey of how I landed this position. A lot of people saw me firsthand down in the dumps. I was working in software development in LA, fully remote. Got laid off randomly on a Friday, and then on the next week got unlaid off. So I was going through a tumultuous
Whiplash.
job period with a really unstable company. And being in LA, I decided that I really wanted to go into the entertainment space. But the only way to do that is through meeting the right people and meeting connections. So I spent the next 3 months hustling, networking, knocking on people's doors, showing up at offices with briefcases like the olden days and saying, please take a meeting with me. And then finally made some good network connections, was able to harness one of those connections and landed an interview at WME. And then yeah, I went through the interview process, was about a month long, and then once I secured the job, everything moved insanely quick. They're like, your start date is going to be in 2 weeks from now. If you can make it here, great. I had known in the back of my mind that they had other candidates who were also jumping at the position, so it was a do or die situation, and I packed up everything and sent it across the country.
So wait, couple things there for those of you who don't know. WME stands for
William Morris Endeavor. It's a global talent agency, and I work in the digital and brand partnership space. So I work with a lot of influencers, podcasters, online talent. I know. That's why I'm here, Carl.
That's why you're here. I know.
I can
Carl,
see
this
star
was very
power from early
planned.
on.
Not
Like-
planned at all. This is not a commercial. But what's interesting is, one, congratulations, but two, that you would go old school and just knock on doors, and so you literally knew nobody at this place.
Yeah, so I was reaching out to friends of friends. I was on LinkedIn messaging strangers, just because the entertainment space is super competitive, especially in LA and New York, and there are only so few jobs that come around. And you kind of have to start at the bottom as an assistant at an agency to really grow your career. And then I also knew that I wanted to work at an agency because it's kind of a fast track into the space. So you essentially have so much vision into all of the different departments of entertainment working at an agency, and it's super high volume and fast paced. So I knew that it was going to be a grind, but it was ultimately going to set me up for success.
But I think they're the largest, right?
Yeah, I would say that they're the best and the largest. But that just depends on who you're talking about and also which spaces you're interested in. Like I would say in the digital and like television scripted space, WME holds it down.
Cool.
Tate was meant to be in like a big office, New York, like in-person job. Like this
Mhm.
is everything for her. This is
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. I'm too extroverted to be working from home, I learned.
Yeah.
And also, while it's a bad thing that everything in entertainment is connections based, I love
Mhm.
it. I think I thrive on that. So I'm forcing people to be my friend, and it's worked out. Just like Jayne did with me at the beginning.
It's nothing if not a networker. She's
Yeah.
always networking.
Well, you proved that, which is what I've known for a long time. And I think a lot of people forget is that you just have to ask, right? We
Mhm.
tease Jayne now. Her new little slogan is what, Jayne?
It is not my slogan. It is one of my coworkers' favorite sayings, of which he has many. But if you don't ASK, you don't GET.
So true.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
So
true.
you just, I mean, it's just knocking on those doors, shaking the hands, kissing the babies, and you never ever know who you're going to meet.
Exactly.
I was telling Jayne a story. I don't know if you heard this, Jordan, but I was on a flight. If you want to meet somebody in the entertainment space, fly from LA to
Mhm.
either Austin or Chicago or New York because you will bump in it. So I'm standing in line and uh, James Marsden, right?
Mhm.
That's his name, Jayne?
Love him.
Birds.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I didn't know he was in like everything for the last 30 years until I met him. So I'm standing in line and up walks this like VIP like handler and I turn and he's here and he's on the plane with me and I'm like, I know you. He's like, oh, so we get on and I got bumped. I don't fly first class, please. I just got bumped, luckily.
Just
So we're
like
sat
us.
in first class. And then on the way out, I just said, hey, here's what I do. I have this podcast. And he was like so caught off guard. We landed in Austin. It was like midnight. And it was just literally me and him walking down this empty corridor out to the car. And
And
he's
they
like,
kissed.
here's what?
They kissed.
You can't.
How romantic.
We did not kiss. We did not hug. But I
That's
did
gonna
give
be
my
the
business
thumbnail.
card
Mhm.
because I was like, when am I ever going to meet this person? And I wasn't like creepy, awkward. I just kept going and handed my card. And he's like,
Mhm.
here's my PR firm. Here's my handler, whatever agency. He's in a smaller agency in LA. But like, that's what you did in a different
Mhm.
version. You
Yeah.
just have to meet those people. He hasn't been on yet. So we're going
Yeah.
to keep
We'll
chasing.
get him on. But I
Carl,
think that also comes. Oh, sorry, you go,
I
Jordan.
was gonna tell a really quick story about Tate. Do you remember our flight back from visiting Jayne when we did like the emergency landing and stuff?
Yep.
Who I was sitting next to, we can go to the emergency landing part later, but I ended up sitting next to, do you know Gus Johnson from like the college football announcer and he like yells really loud and stuff. But I was noticing this gentleman like next to me and I was like trying to figure out who it was and then he was mentioning his career and then I was looking him up. I had no clue who he was, but my dad's a big fan.
Of course.
But you have to look him up. Gus Johnson sat next to him next to the plane the whole time. He was vaping the whole time. But
In the
Crazy.
flight?
on the plane, the whole flight.
Wow.
Insane. Wow.
Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah, I think honestly, just being completely yourself and weird also helps. I think people stand out to others if you're bold enough to ask. So they'll remember the guy who like handed him the business card, or like the really tall young girl who's forcing them to get coffee. Because they don't often see that. Or for example, in New York, I was at an event with Abby, our friend, and we ran into Scarlett Johansson. Crazy. And we were laughing because she was sitting on the floor because there weren't enough seats, and we offered her our seat and we were making jokes with her. And now I think about it, if I ever ran into her again, she would definitely remember that because it was such a niche situation and we were all being so weird. Like, she made a joke about sitting on Abby's lap and we were just bantering. But I think if you can find a way to just stand out, people will remember.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's what Stan talks a lot about, just because he's met a lot of these people in the LA area, which is, as long as you don't like put them on a pedestal, right?
Hmm.
Because as soon as you do, then they talk down to you, and
Hmm.
maybe we forced it on them. They didn't do it. They were just trying to be a normal person. So
Yeah.
who have you been able to meet? Because Maddie talks about it this all the time, and she gets ticked at me because she bumps into famous people all the time, like at the nail spa, the coffee place,
Mhm.
whatever. But who have you met on the street besides
Mhm.
Scarlett? And then who do you get to work with on a day to day?
So I have seen random, more so niche people. I've seen a lot of TikTok creators. I've seen like Aaron Parnas. I texted Jordan about that one. He's like a political content
Yeah.
creator. I see a lot of people in the digital space just because they're walking around New York all the time. But I would say some of the bigger ones, definitely Scarlett Johansson. I met John Turturro, who I'm a huge fan of for his work in Severance. I was at a work event and I saw a panel by Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, and Ari Aster, who's one of my favorite directors, producers of all time. So that was crazy. And then yeah, I'd say more so the contact comes through work. It is super discreet, so people are pretty quiet and hush hush about who we're working with, but in the office we've seen Denzel Washington is rep by WME publicly. Acquired Sal and her sister Bridget, they're two of my
Love
faves. They
them.
were in the office. The Nader sisters. A lot of younger Gen Z content creators come into our office and meet with the agents that I'm surrounded by. So that's always fun to get to see people that I watch on the daily coming in for business meetings.
Is it as fun as you thought it would be, or is it way harder than you ever imagined?
It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's hard in the way that my brain is constantly working, like a neuroscientist or somebody in the STEM field, but it's hard in the way that it's a constant grind. So, I mean, Jayne was with me. I'm a lot of the times getting calls after hours, especially working with a huge team that's based in LA. We're kind of constantly on the clock, and there are little fires that are needed to be put out. But it was really nice over the holidays. Everyone kind of takes a break, and then I'm lucky in that the department that I work in and the boss that I work under is super understanding and lovely, and I feel like I'm learning a ton. So I know that people can get stuck in this entertainment space with really hard teams or bosses. So I feel really grateful that I have somebody who's really supportive and helping me grow. But again, long hours and you're constantly on the clock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
But and hence it's taken us a minute to gather
yeah.
all for
And
this meeting.
everything's time sensitive too. So, I mean, like a project will get announced, and then before people find out about it, it's all systems go. So we're working on things, and then a couple weeks later, they're getting launched out to the public. So you really have to have a quick turnaround, especially in who you're meeting with and what deals you're bringing in for clients.
But is any of your job sales, or you're just supporting all the efforts that have happened?
A little bit. So we're growing our media sales team. So my boss is currently building out a really exciting new department. So we're going to be working more on the partnerships and sales side of things. So essentially, there will be a path for me to grow my career on the sales side. But right now, I'm kind of doing more administrative work. But it just depends. We work with buyers on deals, and I'm
Sounds
sitting
like
in on
you're
that.
in the right group to move on up, moving on up.
Mhm. Yeah, hopefully.
Jordan, I was reviewing our last podcast, and Jayne was saying that this year you're going to be the CEO of your company. So where are you at in that journey?
So accurate. I thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. Far from the truth. I wish. I'm just kidding. But I'd say the nice thing, so like my previous agency, and for context, I think we talked about it a little bit, but I work in like the event space, but more on like the experiential marketing side of it. And my previous agency, it was super large corporation and a lot of like, the hoops that you have to kind of jump through in order to, move up the career ladder. And the nice thing right now is I'm at such a small agency where I report right into the CEO. I have a lot of FaceTime with them. So I feel like there's some advantages there, and then there's also like advantages with the other. So I'm like going back and forth, not, I think end goal one day would be to like be CEO, be on like some sort of chief level, if that's like of just sales or running the whole, show. But I think for right now, enjoy very much what I do. It's perfect. It's like it allows me to have that work-life balance, which is great. And I just am vibing with it hard. So it's
Well, I would say, because you guys are all young, I wish two things somebody would have told me when I was starting out, which was if the place is toxic, get out. Like just, so it doesn't sound like any of the three of you are in that position. But the other thing I wish somebody would have told me was no matter how hard it is or easy, just learn as much as you can.
Mhm.
This is where Jayne and I are a little bit similar, is that we're just nosy. So be nosy in a good sense to learn. And just whether it's because I worked for those startups where it's 10 people, and I worked for Chicago Tribune Media, which was 10,000 plus employees, and all of them have different learnings and opportunities. And there is a component of loyalty that's important, but if they're not paying you what you're worth, and Jayne and I kind of talk a little bit about this, where it's like you gotta every year or two like go out and see what the market will bear for
yeah.
your skill level. And part of
Mhm.
that is they invested in you guys, right? Took a chance on you. You're all in sort of entry level, but there's also like if they're bringing in people that have the same experience as you and they're paying them double, there's a problem,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
We gotta look elsewhere. So always be
Well, that's
learning,
great.
always
And
be
like
looking.
it's
Those
always
Mhm.
the best especially like within your first 20 years, you should never be at a job longer than 3 years. And it's like if you want to make the most you're gonna make. And that's kind of the spot that I reached in at my previous agency as I was like in this spot, it was probably gonna take another 2 years to get promoted into something that would actually, give me the promotion I was looking for. And then I was just kind of sitting there and like listening to the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I was like, you know what? This is up to me at this point. And if I want that promotion or if I want to make this much money, like I'm gonna have to start looking elsewhere. So it's just you can sit there and like pray that they give it to you, but it's like if you're not gonna really
Mhm.
like do that or look for yourself, then that's on you because it's like there is other opportunity out there. And like everybody always says, it's the best time to look for another job is when you have a job. So like constantly, I
Mhm.
think interviewing and seeing what's out there and also seeing what other positions are getting paid. Because like I didn't realize that I was getting vastly underpaid until I looked elsewhere.
Mhm.
And then I hopped jobs real quick because of it. So yeah.
well,
Yeah, also,
go ahead.
oh, I just think that I've been learning a lot about self-advocacy in my early career, especially in the entertainment space, and just being a woman in this space. All that I do all day is advocate for myself and for my team and the people around me. And I think that kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier about knocking on doors and asking for opportunities. But you really can't escalate your career or even just learn if you're not advocating for yourself. But then on the other side, you have to approach those conversations from a point of everybody knows something that I don't. So even if there are people in lower positions than you or in different departments, they're always going to know something that can help boost your career or give you some sort of insight into the landscape.
What do you think triggered you to? I know you said you had I got laid off and then I'm back on and all that, but what like said, okay, this is now my responsibility to because that kind of all seemed to happen around that time of laid off. Was it uncertainty? Was it like, screw this, I got to take care of myself? Like, what triggered it? Or did somebody have a conversation and say, hey, Tate, this is your responsibility? How'd that happen?
No, honestly, I had already been doing some self-reflecting on whether or not I wanted to stay in sales and especially in the tech space. I just was having a hard time feeling motivated at my job every day, and I was looking at my life long term. And I initially got into sales because my dad's in sales. It was kind of an easy route for me to go, but I never really took the time to explore and understand what I wanted to do long term. So then when those questions started coming in and I started doing the reflecting, I realized that I've always been interested in entertainment. So the pieces and the breadcrumbs were already there. And then I took the getting laid off as a sign that I needed to get out of there because I had already kind of been one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a value to, you know, like my job is it's very safe, secure, stable, but it
Mhm.
allows me and it pays well, but it's hard. I'm like you guys, I'm 24/7. I have customers in Hawaii all the way to Maine. So, I
Mhm.
mean,
So,
I'm getting calls whenever they want to, and I jokingly have now renamed my little department 24/7 Motors because I just pick up the phone and ask and they all laugh because I'm like available all the time. But it also does allow you, and that's the other thing in life, which I wish someone told me, if your job is paying the bills and it's allows you to do other things, it'll whether it's side hustles or projects like this, like the YouTube channel, or Jayne
Mhm.
was, doing the cycle bar stuff and the retail, like that's not necessarily a terrible thing because it affords you things outside of work. And Tate, you
Mhm.
might be in a spot right now where all you can do is friggin' work because
Mhm.
that's how you move up this ladder. But there is a value to that if you do have a job that's flexible and not
Mhm.
toxic, right, to continue.
yep.
So where do you see yourself staying at this behemoth for your whole career, or what are your thoughts early on?
We'll see. We'll see. I think I was ready to have a workaholic kind of grind of a year. So I knew that coming into this, I was going to go all out working at this agency. But long term, it's going to just depend. I could see myself doing 100 different things in the entertainment space. So I'm still trying to put together the pieces of what I want my exact career to look like. But I'm really interested and loving doing the work in brand partnerships. So could see myself working on the brand side of things later on, and then also leveraging the digital space. It's growing so much right now, and I'm really in the know on all things digital creators. Like I've been working a lot with gamers and streamers and YouTube creators and digital content creators, just soaking up as much information as possible. And whether or not people want to believe it, TikTok, Reels, verticals are growing massively and they're the number one source of revenue in this day and age in media. So it's only going to continue to grow. So hopefully I can leverage that later on in my career and then could see myself like doing digital consulting or working more on the like influencer side of business. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was watching it. I think I sent it to Jayne. There was a TikTok creator, a young African American. Well, he wasn't American. He was outside of America. But he built a brand on TikTok that was really, and he's this famous guy that just does this. I don't even,
Hobby,
that guy.
Hobby Lane. Yep.
He just sold his brand for over $900 million dollars
Hmm.
Almost $1 billion. I'm
off of
like,
TikTok.
I don't even know who that is.
I met him in Paris. I'll never
Did you really?
forget. Great guy. Great guy. But he doesn't even speak in his videos. It's incredible. But he has, I
It's
think,
all reaction.
consistently the most following on TikTok and has been that way. Like pre Charlie D'Amelio even. So yeah, good for
So that
Kaka.
that ties in a little bit, Jordan and Jayne and Tate, to like as media is changing, right? Like back in the day, if you were a big agency, like you had the movie stars and you had the TV stars and you had the sports stars. There's this whole bizarre thing that right now we could be broadcasting to the world, a
Hmm.
59-year-old man with you all just and if you hit the right niche or the right keywords or the right topic, something goes viral, all of a sudden now we're in media, right? And
Hmm.
monetize this stuff. But so media is changing so fast. Like
Hmm.
I don't remember the last time I watched regular TV,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? Even streaming through one of the channels. So it's an exciting time to be, but it's also a crazy time because you don't know what's popping up
Hmm.
to go. So what are your, like, Jayne, where are you? Let's kind of go around the room. Jayne, what are you consuming? And I'll tell you why this is important to this channel in a
Mhm.
second here. Jayne knows a little bit about it. But Jayne, where are you consuming most of your media?
Um,
What device and then what outlets?
Mm.
I device probably my laptop because I don't have social media at the moment. I'm doing a year without social media. Sorry to all my fans.
Oh,
We've
heartbreaking.
been
I
missing
know,
you.
I know. It is so tragic. And I'm so out of the loop, which is quite terrible. And I really should tap back in. But I don't have anything on my phone except for LinkedIn, which is a nightmare in and of itself. But
I'm keeping you well fed
Mhm.
content-wise,
you
I
are,
think.
you are, you are. Yeah, Tate needs to tap in on LinkedIn. We've got to see.
I've fallen off. I know.
I need to
Um,
delete it. It's
yeah.
embarrassing.
Um, so yeah, my laptop. I do watch YouTube, but not like a crazy amount. I guess I normally, if I'm watching YouTube, it's like videos from publications, like Vogue's videos or like Variety and stuff like that, like interviews of actual celebrities. And then I obviously watch some like actual content creator YouTubers. Um,
I feel like that's a little dig at me, actual content creators.
no, I meant like not.
Almost.
And
It was
me.
Yeah, all of
no.
us.
Especially this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
100.
but that's so YouTube, but are you doing long form or short form?
I do not watch YouTube shorts, so long form.
Okay.
But I mostly just watch Hulu if I'm being honest, which is not necessarily media. That's like entertainment. I guess it is, but it's not like social media or advertisements and such.
Hulu
But
is an interesting one to choose, I'd
well,
say.
I know I say that right now because I'm rewatching the OC, so I've just been
Oh,
Mm.
so good.
yeah, it's so good. And Tell Me Lies,
Of
obviously.
course.
Yeah.
Who's got some stuff going on. But yeah, I
Jayne,
don't know. I'm
you're a
more.
little bit of an outlier though, because you're on the year without phone media.
Yeah, I
So
Mhm.
am. I
let's put her off to the
that's
side.
it. Yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah.
device
I'm
and platform.
I'd say my two top, I'm on my laptop every day, but it's like work-wise. I'd say media-wise, consuming mostly either through TikTok on my phone. That's a big one for me, but it's also like my main source of like news and all of that. I'd say right now, especially, I am on a news rabbit hole. Like that's all of my feed right now. So it's not pretty much entertainment, it's more education. Pod,
Uh-oh, he's freezing
Did
up.
we lose him?
Lost him. We lost him.
That's not a good image
can you
right
hear me?
there. There he's back. All right, we're back.
Oh,
Lost you
um,
at uh
You're on a news rabbit
TikTok.
hole.
Yeah,
yeah, rabbit hole.
CNN heard you
Okay.
were cheating on them, so they cut your
I
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that I like mostly am on like the news outlets like on TikTok. And then I'd say my other biggest one is I just watch like a lot of TV. Like mostly Peacock, mostly like Bravo shows. But I consume it in the background like whilst I work. I've like growing up always kind of needed to like watch TV, like watch a show
Me and you
at
both,
all times.
Jay.
Hmm.
So yeah, I pretty much even fall asleep to TV. So
Hmm.
it's pretty horrible.
I do too, every night.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
white noise.
That's what headphone time is for, Tate.
I know, Jayne, you hate it. When Jayne and I used to live together, she would make me put in headphones so she could sleep. And I could watch all my content.
That is my nightly, just so you, and I don't know if she did it while you guys were here, but my nightly, like around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, her door will open, pitter patter, little feet. Please turn it down, Daddy. Please turn it down. I'm like, put a pillow over your head, put earphones in. My goodness, I'm half deaf.
Yeah, he can't hear a thing, so the TV's blasting, and he's saying 10, 11 p.m. It's like 11:30 p.m. But or 9 p.m. because I like to go to bed early, but it's absolutely
Yeah.
Or
I'm on
7.
Carl's side here. I'm a
I'm not
victim of
surprised.
this.
But mind you, he doesn't come sit in the basement where the big nice TV is. So
Mm.
it's just silly.
It's
It's
cold
silly.
and lonely down there. You guys have stayed down there.
It's awesome. We love the basement.
That what if
It's
there's
a
a
good
bunch of
vibe.
people and it's social, yes. But if it's me by myself, I feel like I'm in prison.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That checks out.
Okay, so Jordan, but that tick the Peacock and all that stuff, are you watching that on your cell phone, on your computer, or on a
On a big
TV?
screen,
Okay.
usually. I like rarely watch anything on my laptop, which is like, I know a little bit uncommon, I'd say now, but I'm not the type that like I always need to watch it on like a TV or a big screen or something. So, yeah,
So
Fancy like
TikTok
pretty
and
fun.
Peacock. Got it.
Yep.
All right, Tate, media lady, what do you got?
Yes. All right. We've got everything here. We've got my trusted iPad, which is my lifeline to the outside world. In getting an iPad, it's actually been really damaging to my relationships because I can't text back anymore because I'm on my iPad. Um, I watch every single streaming platform. I try and stay up to date on all of the shows that are out right now. Traders, Tell Me Lies. I'm rewatching Desperate Housewives to fall
great
asleep.
show.
So good. Survivor new season's coming out and just finished the old season. I try and keep up with everything because honestly, in my day-to-day conversations, it's like what people are talking about at the office. And everybody will give you a hard time if you haven't watched last night's episode, which is fun because I feel like in this new day and age, it's not like everybody gathers around to watch the one episode of Friends sitcom a week and then talk about it the next day. Everybody's watching so many different things. So I think you can really find out who your good friends can be off of what you're watching.
So true.
Well, and you
But I'm also on all social media apps at all times. So but I'm working, guys.
So true.
Yeah.
Tate's a former content creator. We lost her unfortunately now that she has
Mhm.
a big girl job, but I miss Tate content.
I feel like your
Maybe she'll
level
come
of
back.
screen time is needed though for a successful career in entertainment. Like you
And
can't
I
not
keep telling
know
myself
who
that.
these influencers are, who the like what the trends are. Like it's like your homework
And
basically.
when I see my 18 hours of screen time, that's exactly what I tell myself too. I'm
You know
working.
what? You're spot on. I'm
Should we
out of
all
the loop in a
compare?
bad way. Like I know that there are things that I really should know that I'm not aware of, like because I just don't consume any of it right now, and I need to know what's going on, and I just don't.
Yeah, like are you guys watching The Man Who Scaled the Building?
Of course,
Yes,
Okay,
that's
good.
I
Connor
was
and I
forced to
Alex.
watch that.
2 nights ago we watched Free Solo, and then didn't even know that the skyscraper thing was happening, and then went to Netflix, and it was the skyscraper last night. So we
Yeah,
tapped in, but it was really scary. But I love Alex Honnold. He's
yeah.
My palms were
Pretty sick.
sweating, my knees were buckling the
yeah.
entire time.
I
I
couldn't
hated
watch the whole
it.
thing.
I
It was
hated
we
it.
had to go in and out, but
yeah,
it was.
he just did a national uh which I don't know if it's in the same one, but it was National Geographic where he went to Greenland. This
Hmm.
was kind of a prep for the building thing on Netflix, and they climbed this massive rock wall. Just which is weird because like a lot of time when he did the Free Solo, the movie, they actually map it out and he practices and they get their route and the whole deal. This was like we're at the bottom. No one's ever climbed this thing before. We're gonna knock this thing out today, right? So
Wild.
to me, it gives me so much anxiety. But Jayne, I was going to ask him when we opened the climbing center at Phantom Ranch. There's two famous Alex, and there's this other guy, and I reached out to their people and never heard back. Actually, the lesser one, he wanted like $10,000 in first class flights just to show up to open the climbing center. And I was like, yeah, we just spent $500,000 building it. We're not gonna throw another 10 grand in to
Alex was the gentleman that just did he's the free solo guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
He grew up in Sacramento. Did you know that,
No
Tate?
way. I did
Yeah.
not.
Huh.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Wow.
A hometown hero, you could say.
All crazy delusional people come from SAG.
It's necessary for the
Very, very true.
Yeah, and I could say that as a SAG head.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
here, the reason I asked you guys about the consumption and the device and the whole thing was partially self-serving because Tate, so I got a professional question, then a commentary on our channel, which was roughly it's about 10 hours of editing to 1 hour of filming. So if we were like professionally editing this episode, even through Zoom and everything, it's about 10 hours, right? Which
Mhm.
I hate editing. I'm not doing it. I don't have time to do it. So we just kind of throw these up raw as you guys have seen. But what we didn't do, because there was no technology until recently, was make shorts.
Mm.
So about 3 months ago, I found this software called Opus Clips, and I paid a guy to train me. We sat at the library and he walked me through the whole thing. But now I can take this whole episode, and Jordan, I think you saw a couple of your shorts.
Mhm.
And you can drop this whole episode in it, digest it in about 5 to 10 minutes, and then it spits out 30 shorts.
Mhm.
Not only does it spit them out, it puts the captions in and it ranks them virally.
Wow.
So I can just pick the top five, whatever comes out of this conversation, the little nuggets. Say we're on here for an hour. I got, 30 little nuggets of wisdom or virality, or however you say that, to throw out there. So that has changed the game, because we've gone from, 10 to 100 views per long form to thousands on these shorts.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I have a lot to say on this actually. It's really interesting working, especially so close to podcasting. Oh, I would also say that's a lot of the content I've been consuming. Like Good Hang is my favorite podcast ever.
Yep.
Therapist Jake Shane, love.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. For example, let's look at like Recess Therapy or Celebrity Substitute. If you guys know Julian Shapiro Barnum,
Okay.
love him, love him. He's signed to WME, and you can see his platform growth, and the way that his videos perform so well is all based on shorts. And I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I will sometimes find myself in a TikTok rabbit hole where I'm now watching a full TV episode or a full movie of something, and I'm on part 18,
Yeah.
and all of those views are going back to the creator. So I think just watching people who create longer YouTube content series, the way that they're able to monetize off of the shorts and the viral clips and pique interest that way is working wonders for their brands.
It is ridiculous though that it just needs to be literally like split up into bite-sized pieces, because like a lot of times the movie will be 2 hours and you're like, I don't have 2 hours right now, and then you're scrolling on TikTok for 2 hours, but you just don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's such short little pea-sized attention spans nowadays. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is the blessing and the curse of discovering this, because one, not that we put a ton in. I mean, these are fun, nice conversations that we have long form, but the fact that a creator doesn't know or didn't have the tools to make these short, because there's no way in the world I could have done 30 shorts
Mm-hmm.
with the text, with the editing, and now it's done in seconds, and I can
Mm-hmm.
push it out there. And now our channel has gone to, I think we're about to hit 50,000, which is chump numbers, I know, for you professionals at WME and you TikTokers. But before it, if you saw the spike, like we had like no views, and then the second I started doing shorts, it was like 100x
Mm-hmm.
in our Google Analytics, our YouTube.
Well, the second you had Jordan on an episode, actually.
Yeah.
That was a
What can I
big,
say, Carl?
big lift.
America's sweetheart.
Yeah,
Jordan.
seriously.
Well, the most interesting thing is like, and I don't know if if it's still true, but like, is the whole like YouTube's the most profitable? Is that correct? Like TikTok, all of those, you can't really monetize too much off of them.
You
Like,
It's more so on the brands. YouTube is definitely like the steadiest stream of income.
yeah,
But actually, I don't know, because the Twitch streamers are really out here getting their bag.
peak.
Yeah,
So, um, yeah, I would say like YouTube or one of the streaming platforms.
well, and
Yeah.
it's true if you get monetized, which Tate knows it takes a minute to get monetized. I think it's
Mhm.
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours of watch time just to get monetized.
Mhm.
And then it starts slow. It can happen overnight if you get a good viral video. It hasn't happened to us yet, but I'm sure after today we're going to
Right.
monetize.
Yeah.
But it's really about, and that's where companies like WME come in, where it's like the brand deals, the sponsorships. Yeah, monetization is kind of the icing on the cake, but
Mhm.
all the other things that the agencies or agents or managers can create these other streams of income. That's how influencers really get paid.
And totally. And it's interesting because an agency like WME has so many resources. So, I mean, a lot of the work that we're doing in podcasting is helping people who are just the classic A-list talent, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or Julianne Moore or Emma Stone, if they were to come to us and say, hey, I want to start a podcast, we now have the resources of the network of connections of the top editors, the top producers, the top videographers. So it's really cool to see like how people can so easily assimilate in that space. But then on the reverse of it, it gives you so much more respect for the creators who started on their own and really built this themselves, because you don't see the behind the scenes of how much goes in to one single podcast episode. So I do have a lot of respect for that. But yeah, the brand deals are definitely where the monetization are coming from for the people who are growing from the start versus like the celebrity talent who's just crossing over.
Yeah, and I think if you're a celebrity, I mean, you should be. I mean, unless you're just ultra mega rich, top, super top A-lister. This is it's creative, right? So they're
Hmm.
already creators. They've already created on screen, or on film or on screen. They should be doing this. But
Hmm.
at what point, Tate, do you guys look at, okay, let's go to all of our customers who are A-listers and talk them about this, that we can help them and help them build a brand and help them create all their social channels. But at what point do you take the little guys like me or
Hmm.
what point do you guys go, you know what, maybe we should get 1,000 of these people and maybe 100 of them are going to pan out? Or are you
Hmm.
guys just so big that you're like, yeah, until they got 1 million followers, we're not even touching them?
It really depends on the agent and who they're kind of scouting. But I would say that a lot of times people find the up and coming talent from smaller agencies that they're signed to. So we do a lot of grabbing people from other agencies or offering bigger deals or whatnot. But it just kind of depends. It's more about like the one-to-one relationship that agents have with the people that they're interested in. So it could be really fun to be an agent if you're the type of person who is like, oh my God, this person's going to blow up. But it really just is about the connections and the personal relationships. And it's very much like real estate in the sense that um, agents and their talent are like this most of the time. If talent finds a good agent, they're going to stick by them no matter what company they're at. So it really is more about like the relational piece of it. So I would say for somebody who's looking to grow would just be to start outreaching, making connections with people and like pitching yourself as the next big thing. But yeah, it is definitely like a one-to-one dependent on each situation.
There's a company, I don't know if I shared this with Jayne, called Bunker Brands. It's like
Hmm.
bunker, like, militia. Because the guy started out, he was a YouTuber with a gun channel. He's actually a veterinarian, like a super good dad and everything. But then I stumbled on him because they bought an abandoned mansion and him and his wife rehabbed it. But he was brilliant in that he took all these early stage creators
Hmm.
and basically did all their swag, their
Hmm.
t-shirts, but then he was like, wait a minute, if I'm gonna help them build all their t-shirts and their hats and all the other crap, why not do social media and their creative behind it? So
Hmm.
he got all these people that were like me that had like 100 subscribers, and now he's followed them over the last 5 to 10 years, and he has hundreds of early stage, early stage, and now full stage, like million subscriber people that you may or may not have seen on social media. So I think there's an appetite or a niche to be that
Hmm.
early stage agency, even without the big, pockets and money and checkbook of William Morris. Which,
Hmm.
I mean, those guys can't compete. Bunker Brands can't compete with that. But to keep an eye on those people
Hmm.
is fun too, because then, like you said, that relationship, you help someone out early stage, they're never
Hmm.
forgetting that.
Yeah, totally.
They're going to go along the whole way. So, which is
Hmm.
kind of like how Jayne and Jayne's PR business, like some of those people I think have, because they're smaller brands or smaller franchises, but if Jayne delivers a good PR piece and Fishman delivers a good, campaign for them, even as they grow, they're probably going to stick by, like kind of like Cycle Bar a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
They've got some traction. Hmm.
totally.
True. We don't rep Cycle Bar anymore. They got sold off from Exponential, and
Aw.
Mm.
Damn.
I'm not sad about it.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, it's that is late news. The only news I'm tapped in on right now is the fitness industry, actually, interestingly enough. But
Mm,
Cycle Bar is out,
totally.
long gone. I sensed it. That's why I left. before. I could tell
Smart, smart.
the ship was sinking.
Yeah, you knew. I have a question about Carl, your AI editing app that you used or to splice the
Mm-hmm.
short form content. How was using that? Because a lot of also what we're talking about is how AI is impacting the entertainment space. Like, for example, there was an AI actress, Tilly Norwood, and it was all the talk around
Nightmare.
whether or not she would get signed to an agency. And WME publicly released a statement saying that they weren't going to be signing an AI actress. But I'd be eager to hear your guys' thoughts, especially just with like Carl as a person who has more experience and AI is so new. Like what do you think about it all?
Yeah, I'm torn on it because it's a good question. I'm using it more as an editing time saver
Hmm.
than it's not making me look younger or handsomer. Yeah, I know you're shocked, Jayne, that I would want that for my media career, but we're just taking it from an editing perspective to take out all the chopping and splicing. And first of all, I don't even know how to do it. Stan does because that's his background is video, but if you guys saw what he put into like just chopping off a little bit, if we had this conversation screwed up a couple things, again, he hours and hours and hours just to splice all this together where I can do it in 5 minutes.
Wow.
So from a efficiency perspective, I believe in it. From a creative perspective, Jayne, did you watch that clip I sent you from Canyon of Death?
Definitely not.
Okay.
He
Well,
sends too many links. I do not click them because he overdoes it and now I can't trust him. So you need
all
to
right.
send
So
me.
I'm sending this Jordan and Tate. This will be very interesting to you. This project, this feature film that Maddie and I have been involved with for about 4 years now, they signed, and this will kind of indirectly but directly answer your question. They had signed Val Kilmer as the A-lister as part of this project. Well, he got sick and then COVID hit and they couldn't use him and now he's passed away. They have literally put him in this film in AI. They have resurrected him with his daughter's permission from the dead to be in this film. So when you guys watch this clip, this trailer, you're going to be like, holy frick, they raised this dude from the dead to be in this movie. So that just opens this whole can of worm. Like, can we take Elvis now and make new songs with Elvis? Like, if we get rights to Elvis, like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So it is a crazy, crazy time with the AI. And now the flip side of that, and if any of you have stumbled on this, I start watching a channel on YouTube. I know within 30 seconds if it's AI.
Hmm.
And I'm like, this is BS, and I'm out.
Hmm.
But it hooked me. It got me to watch a little bit. I clicked through. So I don't know. And I think the big platforms need to be super careful of this because they will lose. Like, why would, if I can't compete with AI,
Hmm.
Yep.
like, why would I waste my time, even though I love hanging with you guys and having these deep conversations? Like, if AI can just crank these out 24/7 by the thousands or millions, why would I have a chance or even continue to post on this platform or others? So
Yeah.
it's a great question.
I agree. I also think we're losing touch with humanity a little bit. I think people are really drawn to creators and podcasts and content that is super real and it feels like you're on FaceTime with a friend. Like I know all of my favorite influencers will talk to the camera like you're on the phone with them. And I think it's easy to spot the videos that are AI because it's missing that human touch. So hopefully it'll stop performing as well and maybe become a little cringy for the younger generations. But yeah, I definitely do think our phones are oversaturated with these crazy AI videos.
This, and I don't know what you guys think of him in general. I know Jayne's opinion a little bit, but Joe Rogan just did Matt Damon
I
and
share my
Ben Affleck.
opinion.
Did you see
What?
my Twitch, Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said they share my opinion.
I
Put
didn't know you were
aside
gonna
the
curse, Carl.
conservative, whatever you think of him. But the interesting thing, because they had a deep discussion about AI, was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They're because part of what his belief is and why he has 2 to 3 hour conversations is he doesn't think you can have a deep conversation in 30 minutes. That's why
Mhm.
he lets these flow for as long as the guest wants to go on there. But in relation to Damon and Affleck, they are talk deeply about AI. And it's really because well, I think what we forget, maybe you guys do too, like they've been doing this their whole adult life. Like from when they were like little 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, they wanted to be movie stars. And now they're powerhouses writing, editing, producing, directing, but they have some really interesting perspectives on AI. It's pretty.
My At my work right now, I work with a series of software engineers, and like for events, basically, we're bringing in the AI component, the AR, the VR, like all of those buzzwords that you hear, like that's what we do. And a big brand, a big like alcohol brand came to us, and they have a big global ambassador, and this ambassador lives in South America, travels around, tells people about this alcohol. They want us to basically create her into an avatar that can do what she's doing right now, but all around the world simultaneously, all at once. And right now, what we're trying to figure out is if ethically, like, we are okay with doing that because the likeness will be the same. It will be pretty much unrecognizable. And is that something that we want to put our mark on because the liability there is really interesting? Like, there are a lot of just what ifs. And I don't know if you've seen it, but Anthropic just put out like the first kind of constitution that they've written around like their AI named Claude. And it's a fascinating read. It's a lot of pages, but it's basically summarizing that Claude needs to act under their ethics, their values, and most like OpenAI, for example, they don't have a North Star, a constitution, if you will, that's like binding of how these AI avatars can operate even. So it's interesting because then you get some of the uncanny valley part of it. Like there's just a lot of like what ifs and what is possible with that avatar then, like now that that likeness has been created.
Well, that this guy that was talking about earlier, the TikToker, they're letting him use his likeness, and that's part of why he's getting 900 whatever million. Um, so it's scary. Now the question is, morally and ethically, we can debate this for hours. Is she getting paid? So when they take her and they put her in every dang other language, if she's getting royalties on that, okay, that's number one. The other part is who does it put out of business or who does it not give an opportunity to? That's the
Yeah.
scary part.
It's not
Quick plug.
ethical. I would
You
say
guys,
full
have
stop.
you seen Jonah's Awful, the Black Mirror episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's like what I always think about is like,
yeah.
Carl, if you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. It's an amazing episode, but it's one of the Black Mirror episodes on one of the more recent seasons. And basically they asked, like they took her permission to use her likeness within all of these different streaming series. And the whole show kind of like documents the craziness that like just erupts in her life because of it. And then like actually portraying her as like doing these really awful, evil things. And it basically makes her go crazy. So it's a interesting look at like the damage that could be done. But obviously, like if this ambassador chose to do that and like moves forward with it, there would be quite a big royalty check cut. So it's like, I don't know, where do you draw the line?
Well, there's a big, I don't know if you guys saw this one. So somebody took one of Elon's ex-wife, baby mama, whatever, and took her picture and then put her in all these compromising. They took Grok and put her in and had her like doing porno scenes.
Oh,
Yeah, that she's like now suing Grok and Tesla X, right? Because they allowed this. They shut them down pretty quick, but once it starts rolling. So yeah, it's great. It's
well, that's where Anthropic had to kind of, that's where a lot of their, I'm not saying it was just Grok, but like so many of these different AI platforms right now have very limited internal regulations or security or anything. And not gonna like fully go into this, but like the current administration, if you will, doesn't think that any sort of regulations are needed. And it's like we're we're past that point. Like they're needed
yeah.
yesterday at this point.
I just find it funny that it's been like there's since like the 20th century began, there's been like horror stories about like the potential that can happen if we let technology like take over. And everyone is choosing to ignore it with AI, which I find quite interesting. And it's unethical for many reasons, but I think primarily because of what it's doing to the environment. It's just like absolutely destroying, which we're already on a downward trend. I honestly feel like it's too late. But
Yeah.
but it's still so unethical, like using chat for like one question, which most people do nowadays. And that is not to say that I don't ever use chat, but like it's like a bottle of drinkable water is like gone because
And the lack of information that we have, or just the people not getting a PSA as to like, here's
yeah,
exactly what's going on. I feel like information is being withheld.
100%. Not a lot of people know that AI is even bad for the environment because you just think it's like electricity, but it's
Yeah.
more than that in the data centers and everything. And it's just unethical because people are like AI already has too much of an emotional like tie to people. Like I
Mhm.
saw the I can't remember where this was, but there was a dad talking about it, like his son committed suicide and had been like talking to chat for weeks. And like chat basically led this like high schooler to commit suicide. And it like that needs to be regulated. Like that's absurd that like
Yeah.
kids could just talk to, which we had like, do you guys remember like there were like apps where you could like talk to the little computers and they would talk back to you, like it was like
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
but it would tell you like if you said something bad, like to see what it would say, it would be like, I can't talk about that. And like the
Hmm.
fact that AI now doesn't even have things like that is just, it's just wild.
And it's fairly easy to put these restrictions on. Like that's what I
Yeah.
don't want people to think that these chatbots are like really difficult to regulate. And that's where we do it all the time for clients where we are using AI generated text, but it's from a list basically of like you put in all the pre-generated text of like what's allowed and what's not
Yeah.
allowed, and then you build restrictions off that. And of course, it's going to fail every now and then. But I'm like, it's just an attempt at rectifying and stopping those situations, or also stopping the emergence of like the singularity where AI
Yeah.
replaces us as a species.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
not to doomsday prep, but
We should.
you
Really
should.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting times to be in that space and scary all at the same time.
Hmm.
What a
Sure.
fun rabbit hole we went down. I know I've said that
I
twice
know.
now, but
We didn't
Well,
even
I
talk
don't
about
use it that
Trisha.
much other than Opus clips. So this is not a commercial for them. They're
Yeah.
not stuff.
you got me hooked. Like I'm gonna buy.
Me too.
Good stuff. All right. So
Sold.
where's the next? Because we're over an hour. So thank you guys so much. Where's our next? Your guys' next reunion, and when's our trip to? I owe a trip out to see Maddie, so Tate will definitely connect you.
Please.
But where's your guys' next reunion?
The three of us, I don't know.
Well, Jordan's coming here.
I'm
Jordan's
going
coming here
there two
too.
months, and then I'm going to Jayne in 4 months.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
might be visiting New York at the beginning of March, which I'll let you know if I do.
Wait, perfect. Then I'll come to Chicago when Jordan comes in 4 months.
Oh,
May
okay, great. Yeah, come
22nd.
in May. And Jordan, I'm coming to San Diego later this year. So,
I'm so
Perfect.
excited.
Guys, we're so good at
yeah,
this.
we're all set.
Wait, Jordan, are you closer to? I forget what town you moved to now.
Point
I'm
Loma
San Diego.
proper.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are. Okay.
So I'm right in Point Loma. It's
For some
Jordan's
reason, I
in
thought
our
you were
backyard.
closer up to LA. I don't know why.
Well, he moved from
I
LA
was. Yeah.
to
You
Point
were
Loma.
in
So
LA.
right around when actually Tate moved just after I moved, I
I was
think.
so heartbroken Jordan left LA that I had to leave.
Yeah.
You just
It's
boycotted it
just
right out.
And
Yeah, it
impossible to
was
and now
too
I
describe.
can
Yeah.
never
too much
move to
pain.
LA because neither of them are there. So what would the point be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jayne will
Same.
tell you offline, but a good friend of ours who you guys might have met, Ken,
Yes, love
Yes.
Ken.
position in
Love
Santa
it.
Sure.
Monica. And so Jane's tuning up her resume, and maybe you two can as well. More to come.
Please don't say I'm tuning up my resume when that's actually not true at all.
Well,
So
you should all no, this is fair. You should all have your resume. So should I have it tuned up all the time. And if you're
Yeah.
not on LinkedIn, you should be on LinkedIn because that's where you can tune them easy.
True.
Find me there.
And,
Jordan Kane too.
yeah, shout out Jordan's LinkedIn and Tate will hopefully 2026 Tate's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, maybe 2027.
You're not on it at all?
I
No,
don't really have a lot of time till I'm be on LinkedIn, guys.
no.
I gotta be on
She has an
Reels.
account. She has a
I have an
LinkedIn
account. I have an
account.
account. I
But
used
All
to
no,
that
be
she's
on
matters
not.
Reels.
She's
is
not
Tate's
posting on LinkedIn.
constantly plugging my LinkedIn, which is good.
True,
She
true.
hypes it up.
I am a
Love it.
loyal fan of Jordan Kane,
Same.
but
I do
I've
not post on
since
LinkedIn.
retired from the LinkedIn game.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's
you
really
guys.
hard.
The only reason I'm curious because like I think it's almost impossible to get a good job now if you're not on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Jordan, when you put that thing up on your mom the other day, which I will connect with her for sure.
Yes.
I was so impressed because it was like a total professional LinkedIn post with the little links and man, you had it dialed in.
Sorry.
I
It was
might
my
have
AI though.
I might have wasted some water putting that post together. Let's just say. Let's say.
It happens.
Okay.
We'll leave it there.
Okay.
Secrets out.
It was good.
It was.
That's
It
the
was a
problem
great
with
post.
AI though. Sometimes it can be just a little too good, and then they're
Hmm.
like, is that
Which
really
I've
Jordan?
told mine to like stop using M dashes. I've told it to like sound less robotic. So you can prompt it. You can
Yeah.
absolutely make it your own. But yeah, again, to Jayne's point, I should probably just do a quick Google search instead.
It's hard. It's really hard though. Tough.
Well, happy Sunday, everybody. And Jane's way past her bedtime on a Sunday night, 6 o'clock here in Chicago.
Dang.
Thank you guys.